Hello everybody, how are you? We'll start off a little bit about my field study, and just to recap, it's an oral history project at the Owings Mills Library. And up to this point, we finally have permission to get the interview started, and we actually had our first interview yesterday, which was slightly scary for me because I wasn't expecting to have to interview the person myself, because the original intention was to have the interviewees have two of them, and one would interview the other, but that's not how it's turning out. It's now turning out into one person being interviewed by library staff, which is me. So we had our first interview yesterday, and it went okay. I can't say I'm the best interview person or interviewer. There was some blank spaces. I didn't follow up as good as I could have to some questions and to some statements that she said, but we did get some good clips from her, so I'm happy about that. And right now we've got, I think, 5 more scheduled, and starting on Tuesday of next week, or actually this week, and going all the way till Saturday. And then we're still getting more people that are interested. So hopefully by the end of the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have like 10 to 15 people that we've interviewed. And then from there, I get to transcribe all the interviews, which I started doing with the one we did yesterday. And so far, it's not so bad. Just a lot of stopping and playing and replaying the same clip over and over, trying to make sure I got the words right. So yeah, that's pretty much my field study. We're full into getting it started right now. We're done all the paperwork. We're into it right now. So that is pretty exciting. I just need to brush up on my interview skills and be able to follow up with things that they say with more questions that I didn't already have prepared. So that's going to be interesting, and I'll do my best. As far as the readings went this week, they're basically the same kind of readings that we've been reading in almost all my classes. And I also took Professor Hill's Inclusion and Diversity class, which was totally excellent. I did enjoy that one. But each time that we go over these type of articles or this material, I always feel a little guilty, because here I am, middle class, white, pretty much your stereotypical librarian type person, and I always feel guilty for, possibly taking a space away from someone else, of some person of color or someone minority that doesn't have as many opportunities as I do, or doesn't have the privilege that I do. So I'm still trying to learn how to get over the guilt, because I think I would be a decent librarian, and I think I could help others that aren't as fortunate as I am. And one of the things I did learn from Professor Hill's class was intersectionality. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And how everybody has more than just one, I guess, persona, you would say. It would be like me, okay, maybe I'm white, middle class, but I'm also a woman. Therefore, I'm in part of a minority status. I have history things that make me special in my own way, that I can help other people that have a similar history to me. And everybody is like that. Everybody has more than one just main identity, so they can help anybody else with some of their minor identities. As far as what do I see in my workplace right now, or actually my field study site, it's pretty white. There's basically a librarian side, which is a little higher, and then the circulation side, which doesn't require like degrees or anything. Everybody on the librarian side is pretty much white. I have not seen anybody of color on the librarian side. On the circ side, there are a few African Americans that are working there, and as far as part-timer goes, I think they're all white too. So, I mean, I definitely see where there's a barrier for access and for people of color to achieve the higher positions. I know when I went to apply for grad school, I had a little bit of a trouble, and I'm not even, I'm not really a minority of any sort, because I was a non-traditional student during my undergrad years. So when we had to do, like what the article was saying, that they needed letters of recommendation or letter of professional references, I had the same problem where, because I was a non-traditional student, I took classes part-time for like 10 years. I didn't really establish a rapport with any of my teachers or my professors. So I had a hard time like connecting with them to get my letters of recommendation for grad school, which was manageable in the end, thankfully. And I ended up using more professional work colleagues as my letters of recommendation. And then I found one professor that I had taken 2 or 3 classes with. No, I think only 2 classes with. And she wrote me a letter of recommendation, so that was nice. But I can see how if you're not your traditional, well-established, well-moneyed college student, you would have trouble applying for either jobs or grad school. Well, definitely for grad school, trying to get to the recommendation letters that you would need, and then what they were talking about in the article about experience with volunteer and that kind of stuff, because I couldn't do those either because I was working full time. So yeah, I can definitely see where there is definitely a problem with retaining and getting people of color and other minorities into the library field. And that's pretty much all I've got this week. So everybody have a good week.